Today we're exploring a topic that touches on identity, resilience, and divine purpose. When a woman has no friends. In a world that often emphasizes social connections as a measure of worth, finding yourself without friends can feel like a setback. But what if this solitude is not a sign of emptiness, but of a greater calling? What if this season is actually a divine opportunity for character building, strengthening your faith, and finding a deeper purpose? To begin, it's essential to understand that solitude is distinct from loneliness. Solitude is a sacred, intentional space where distractions fall away, allowing you to focus on God and personal growth. Think about Jesus, who often withdrew to solitary places. In Matthew 14:23, we read, "After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray." Yeah, Jesus, the Son of God, didn't retreat because he was lonely, but because he needed to connect deeply with his Father and prepare for his work. Solitude is not a void. It's an intentional separation to hear God's voice clearly and seek his guidance. This quietness becomes a powerful moment to connect deeply with God. The psalmist's words in Psalm 46:10, "Be still and know that I am God," remind us that there's beauty in stillness. This stillness allows you to peel back the layers, face your inner thoughts, and encounter God in a way that's often impossible amidst the noise of life. Solitude, then, isn't a period of emptiness, but a time of divine connection where the Holy Spirit ministers directly to your heart. Secondly, you must acknowledge that growth and refinement happen in solitude. The process of growth in solitude is like the refining of gold. Gold is purified in the furnace, and so too are we refined in the stillness of solitude. Malachi 3:3 describes God as a refiner and purifier of silver, which illustrates how he removes impurities, revealing a stronger and purer version of ourselves. When a woman finds herself without friends, it's not that she's being punished. It's an opportunity for God to mold her. When we are alone, we confront our values, motivations, and even fears. Solitude strips away distractions, inviting a woman to take a deeper look at her true self. Consider David's story. Before he became king, he spent years alone as a shepherd, tending sheep and fighting off predators. David's character was refined through solitude, where he learned courage, resilience, and faith. Psalm 23:4 captures David's reliance on God, saying, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." David's isolation wasn't wasted time, it was preparation. When he faced Goliath, he had already been tested in solitude. His faith strengthened in ways that prepared him for his calling. Thirdly, this is a time of strengthening one's relationship with God. One of the greatest blessings of solitude is the opportunity to strengthen one's relationship with God. Friends can offer comfort and validation, but they cannot replace the constancy and depth of God's presence. With others around, it's easy to turn to people for emotional support. But when those voices fade, God's voice becomes clearer, reminding you of his unchanging love. Isaiah 41:10 gives a profound reassurance of, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you." The solitude that initially feels empty transforms into a fullness of divine companionship. A woman discovers that God's presence is her true source of strength and that her value is found in him alone. She learns that her worth is not dependent on the opinions or companionship of others, but is rooted in God's love and purpose. This period becomes a sacred season where her identity is formed on a foundation that cannot be shaken, one rooted in God's steadfast love. Next, this period of your life is to find discernment and clarity in relationships. Another blessing of solitude is the clarity it brings to relationships. When surrounded by people, it's easy to absorb their values and opinions. Solitude, however, allows a woman to step back and see who truly aligns with her purpose and values. Proverbs 13:20 reminds us, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. This season sharpens discernment, teaching her to value quality over quantity in relationships. Reflect on Queen Esther's journey. Separated from her family and isolated in a foreign palace, Esther faced immense challenges alone. But it was during this time that she found the courage to fulfill her calling. In Esther 4:14, Mordecai tells her, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther's solitude wasn't punishment. It was her preparation to become a deliverer for her people. In solitude, a woman can redefine her relationships, choosing those that uplift, challenge, and align with God's purpose for her life. And the fifth point I want to make is that you are building resilience for future seasons. Solitude builds resilience. It's a season of internal strength building, a foundation that holds firm when the storms of life come. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." Solitude may feel endless at times, but it is temporary. Yet the strength, resilience, and self-assurance gained in this season will last a lifetime. When a woman embraces solitude, she learns to depend on her own resilience and her relationship with God. Her faith is stretched, her patience tested, and her endurance strengthened. This process, though challenging, is vital. The roots she builds in this season will hold her steady, no matter what storms may come. When she emerges from this season, she will carry with her a quiet confidence and resilience that cannot be easily shaken. This resilience will become a testament to others, a quiet strength that shows the world where her true foundation lies. Finally, solitude teaches a woman to find joy within herself, a joy rooted in God's presence rather than external validation. Psalm 37:4 encourages, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." This time alone becomes a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment. In finding joy in her own company, a woman learns that happiness does not rely on others but flows from a heart at peace with God. When she learns to find joy within, she becomes a beacon of strength, not only for herself but also for others. She becomes secure in who she is, anchored in a joy that cannot be shaken by changing circumstances. This contentment becomes a source of true inner peace, a joy that remains unshaken by the ebb and flow of relationships or societal expectations. In solitude, she finds a strength and joy that are rooted in her Creator, an unbreakable foundation that holds even when everything around her shifts. This time without friends is not an indication of weakness, nor is it a punishment. It's a period of divine purpose. Solitude is an invitation to grow, to strengthen faith, and to experience personal transformation in God's presence. It's a season of refining, where God uses the quiet to build character, renew perspective, and reveal the woman He has called you to be. When a woman embraces this season, she becomes stronger, wiser, and more spiritually anchored. Her heart, mind, and spirit are aligned with God's purpose, and she develops a resilience that will sustain her in every future season. She becomes more discerning in her relationships, clear in her values, and deeply rooted in her faith. As this season unfolds, embrace it as an opportunity. Let God refine you, strengthen you, and draw you closer to Himself. When this season of solitude ends, and it will, you will emerge as a woman prepared to walk in God's purpose with a heart that knows true joy, a spirit anchored in peace, and a character refined by divine love. This solitude is not a setback, but a setup for the future, where God's plans for you will be revealed in all their fullness. Embrace it, grow in it, and know that God is with you every step of the way, preparing you for a greater purpose-filled journey ahead.